Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Deborah. This is maybe the sixth iteration of my podcast, How to Love, following the example of Jesus of Nazareth, the ultimate postmodern psychotherapist. Jesus of Nazareth, the ultimate postmodern psychotherapist. I say in some earlier videos on YouTube how I came up with this idea, and primarily it's because I grew up a Christian. I still am, just more mature, I'd like to think, anyway. And no, I am, and I say that because I learned from when I was training to be a therapist the how to be with people and accept them, who they are, where they are, doing what they do, so that I could hear them when they talk to me and offer my best self and the best services. Because when people talk to anyone about what's going on in their lives, they need more than anything for you to listen. They might think they want you to tell them what to do, and you might think it's your duty to tell them what to do, but you really can't. Think about it. How many times have you offered something to someone that you knew was good for them, but they didn't do it? And that's because they couldn't, until they can do it and can see it, they cannot do it. So that's why listening and asking good questions, because that's what we learn how to do, is the best way. If you want to help somebody, listen, ask good questions. And of course, the questions are important, because sometimes our biases are in there, and you got to be able to know when you are being biased and when you are not, when you are clearly asking them for clarity because you don't understand. You ask the question so that they can be clear on what they're saying to you, and then they can hear themselves clearly. All right, so I talk about Jesus because he was the ultimate. He was the master in so many ways, but a master of relationships and how to help people get where they wanted to go, no matter where that was, whether he agreed with it or not. And there were times he didn't. And of course, he didn't force anybody to change their way. So, psycho means soul, and therapy means to heal. So basically, it's the healing of the soul. But the part of you that feels, the part of you that senses, the part of you that yearns, let's say, for something higher than what's happening in our world and in your life. And so when you see a therapist, basically the goal is to help you achieve whatever that is. And sometimes it start out being one thing, and it turns out to be another. And if it turns out to be another, many times it was always that second thing, but you just couldn't tell until you had the right environment to talk about it. And that's what we're supposed to do. That's what Jesus of Nazareth did, even though he didn't call himself a therapist as far as I know. But the things that he did showed us how we should treat each other, how we should love each other. And so that is what my podcast is about. And so things that happen in our world, things that people do, books that I read, relationships that I have, relationships that I observe, I will always be bringing it back to what I call how to love. And my definition for love is radical acceptance. And radical acceptance is to hold someone or something in such high regard that you make the necessary sacrifice to stay connected to that someone or something. And so often you do that for yourself as well as for the other person. And if it doesn't work for them, that's fine. If it only works for you, then you have done what you're supposed to do, and that is love them right where they are. This is Dr. Deborah. How are you loving? I would always ask that, because how is the key. How is the question. Not if, but how. Until next time, how are you loving?